everyone. My third tip is about how you can use your community to build your plant collection for pretty much nothing, for free. All of these plants, including that one over there, I got for free. And I just use my community. I let people know my interest, and I connected with people digitally who are local, and it's really helped me to build up a collection. And I think in terms of being eco-friendly, this is a really good approach as well, because if you are using connections you have locally to build your collection, then these plants will arrive without a lot of packaging, or none in the case of these ones. They won't have travelled a long way, and a lot of these plants were propagated by people locally, so the parent plants may have come from a long way, but these ones generally don't have a lot of mouths behind them, so I think it probably is a more eco-friendly way to build your collection, and super cheap. Like, I think, well, I can't think of anything I've paid for these. Several came from friends as gifts and family. For example, this little cactus down here came from a friend, and super cute, but is quite spiky. This fern, which I love the way it's got these tiny thin little stems and then these huge big leaves that kind of wave at you. It's really good. Again, came from family, and I think I'm nearly in a place where I could have a go at propagating, I'm not sure, and to share on. A cactus from family. All of these came from family. Aloe here, the cheese plant with its new leaf. This one is an amaryllis that I've had for maybe 3 years, 2-3 years, that I've kept, and it flowered beautifully. Aspidistra at the back. Family heirloom, that one. So I think just by letting people know that you're interested and enjoy houseplants, they'll help you build your collection. I've recently been connecting digitally through social media with people, and in this, to build my collection, and in this one's case, so this little plant that desperately needs some water, maybe should have watered it before the video, but never mind, is coffee. It came from my sister originally, and I'd decided that I wanted to try my hand at bonsai, and I didn't want to buy any pots new because I'm trying to avoid new things, and I didn't want to pay for it, so I'd put a call out on my local village Facebook group and said, does anybody have any of these knocking about? I can swap for a houseplant. And the lady who gave me this said, well, she had 3, 2 died. No, she definitely doesn't want any more plants to kill, and I can just have this one. And even better, she mows it up and dropped it off, so got this beautiful little pot from somebody that just needed a new home for it, which I'm really pleased with. Although I definitely need to work on my bonsai skills, I think. I've also joined a plant swap group, a local one, so I'm in national ones, and people are all the time sharing and posting plants to each other, and it's so much fun to watch what they're up to. And when people say, oh, I really want this new plant, can anybody swap me a bit of this one I've got, and generally those calls are answered, but I've tried to keep it more local, and I discovered that the city I live near has one, so I've joined it, and I've done my first swap, and that's where all these came from. So I swapped a Calathea trio star and some rooted cuttings of Tridescanthia, a tiny little pink one, for absolutely loads of cuttings. She was very generous. So these are all kind of forms of succulent. Some of them have got roots, some came without roots, so I've potted them up and see if they'll start. I wonder what that is growing in there. See if they'll start rooting, but generally succulents are super easy, so I'm quite hopeful. She also gave me these pieces of a kind of cactus thing, so hopefully they'll get going. And again, this cost nothing. I recycled and reused all the pots and things I had. And I've got these at the back too, where I've just put some of the leaves in and hoping that they'll sprout. And my plan is I'll get them going and then take further cuttings from them to try and swap on with other people and build and build and build. I suppose that is a bit of a downside of trying to build your collection as cheaply and eco-ly as possible, is you do often have to start off small and take time and effort to grow big. Like, it looks lovely in people's houses where they have invested in amazing, beautiful, mature, semi-mature plants. But I don't have the money for that, and I quite like starting small and seeing how they go, and I really like sharing. Having said that, some of these are quite big. Well, they're relatively big compared to these. Speaking of growing to share, I thought I might just update you on these avocados, because after a couple of weeks only, things are happening. It looks to me like there are about to be some little roots coming out. So I think this method's quite a good one. And my plan is I've got 2 jars ready like this. Once they are established properly, maybe even with a leaf or 2, I'll try and see if anybody would like them, swap them on for something else, and use these to grow my collection as well. Another community link that I've recently made that I'm really happy about is on my local village Facebook page. Somebody had put a message out saying, I've got all this builder sand, would anybody like some? Bring a bag and you can help yourself. And so I have, because I've been thinking about potting mix and what I can use to try and reduce my impact. And although I probably could manage better than sand, but in this case, this sand is pre-used, it's come from just up the road, it would have otherwise just gone in the skip. So I think it's probably passable. So that's it for tip number 3. Definitely use your local communities and family communities to build your collection. Tip 4 is going to be about potting mixes, pots, reusing and upcycling. And I had better go give that coffee some water.